Kramer time with Robbie Stingle. Hey, what's up, everybody? 40 Grit here, 40 Grit Guitars. Hey, I have a special guest tonight, Robbie Stingle from Kramer. Robbie worked at Stingle. All right, Robbie worked at Kramer for years, and I was with him at a on another podcast, Johnny Bean podcast. Him and I were on there together, and we shared a lot of good times on there, and looked at a lot of listings and talked a lot of guitars. So. We are live, Robbie, and everybody's looking forward to seeing you.
Kramer! Kramer! Woo!
Kramer is in the house. Robbie is in the house. Ronnie Parker, what up, man? How's it going? Mr. Mick is here. Mr. Mick. Lewis, talked to Lewis today. Lewis was taking a look at the shorts on the website, and I told him make sure you join us tonight. Let's see who else has jumped in. JP21 is here. What's up, man? How's it going? Jimmy Biter from the OU812 show. How's it going, man? Nice to see you. Timothy Lay, thanks for your comment, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. OU812, hey, Ryan, what's going on, man? Happy birthday. I guess today's your birthday. Big P, guys at work are here. JP21's in the house. So, I was going to introduce Robbie. Robbie said, let's go on together. So just a little bit of background. Like I said, me and Robbie were on Johnny Bean together, and we did a lot of listings, talked a lot of guitars. Robbie is a very capable and a very knowledgeable guitar guy, especially with regards to Kramer guitars. So my first host, I figured, would be my first guest host would be Robbie. So, Robbie, thanks for being here tonight, buddy.
All right. Woo!
Ready to go. He's got some guitars on standby we're going to go over. But first and foremost, I wanted to thank you for being here, buddy. And also, so when you first started working, what year did you start working at Kramer? What year were you there?
I started actually working there in '84.
Okay.
Although I had a friend that I was driving to work there in '82. So between '82 and '84, I would drive him to work in the '73 Dart Sport my sister lent me. And, there's lots of times where Edward would be standing in the parking lot and he'd come over to the car, and he wanted me to work there. And I said, no, I'm making more money building trusses, But he was a really cool guy.
When you started working there, where did they start you at?
I started nutting.
On nuts.
I started drilling and countersinking for locking nuts. In the assembly.
It's funny you say that. When I started at Sir, Mike Ponce rolled over a cart of guitars. I said, what's all these? And he said, you're going to be cutting nuts today. He said, I want to see what you can do. He said, it takes 100. You got to do 100. And then once you do 100, we'll move on to something else, because he was checking, making sure I knew how to do everything. So, and then once you got done with, once you finished on nuts, where did they put you?
Well, I was doing that for quite a while. And they didn't really have a quota. It was just, do it to their specs. And I was doing, those non-tilt sports necks, mostly. Mm-hmm. When they were they had the dull, you couldn't really read the logo, mm-hmm. at the beginning and stuff. And then, and I knew this guy that I was bringing to work, and he worked in a neck room, and he got me in there. And he also knew Bill Isaacson, who used to be the head of guitars in '82, which I knew him because he custom made me that Tiger Stripe body in '82. So I had known him too. So they moved me to neck dressing, which I really wasn't that great at. I'd get a lot of redresses. And this was before Edward said he wanted it backbowed. and then sand the crap out of those frets.
Yeah,
Ever
that was
since,
one of the things that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because I remembered I've done maybe one or two fret jobs since then, and I always wanted to talk to you again about the back bow address that Edward used to say. How did that come about?
well, when I was in the neck room and they were making the 5150s from the 1984 batch, you know, and Billy Connolly assembled those, and the first thing Edward did when he got his hands on that, he played a few notes, and then he just unscrewed the neck. I mean, the strings are tensioned and everything. He was just like, wah, 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 poing, you know. And you know, he just stripped it down, and he come running into the, you know, the neck room, and he looked, like kind of frustrated, and he said, "Look, back bow the crap out of this, then sand the fuck out of those frets. Excuse my language. I mean, flatten them out.
Hmm.
Then get those crown lines as thin as you possibly can, and then steel wool the crap out of it. I mean, we would use 7 pads of steel wool on the neck, just going. But after I started doing that, I never got a redress again. They all went right out the door.
Did you ever measure when you got done where you felt like you were in the sweet spot? Did you ever measure the height of the frets after the
No,
back bow? Like what you know?
no, no. It was all just kind of a go for it feel thing. He liked them pretty flat at that point, and that's
Yeah,
what
I
we
would think
did.
so. The only thing that would scare me is when they said, "Okay, find your crown lines on short frets." You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, they're still hogging to do once you get the back bow and the where you're at. They're still hogging to do to get your crown line. So that's what I was just curious as to
Well,
how high were the frets when you said, "Okay, that's good."
pretty low. I mean, there's necks that I've gotten for guitars I've built, for myself, that people are like, "Oh, it has to be refretted. Oh, those frets are too low." And I look at it and I drool a little. I said, "It's perfect. That's
Mm,
perfect," because I could sand that down and crown them out. Now, if it gets super low, crowning's a little harder to do. You
mm-hmm.
know, you got to crown. But like I said it to you earlier in the green room, I've always been a sawer. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't go, like this. I'm, you get a
Mm-hmm.
nice sharp blade, and you saw that. You got to look because you're going to be taking out some material, and the only time it's really too flat is if you're marking the edges of that flat fret on the ends.
Mm.
If it's
Okay.
too flat, you'll get that little bit of mark. You know.
And to this day, what file do you prefer for crowning?
Oh, the old school crown
Triangle.
file. It's got a little round thing, comes down, and the blade Allen keys on the end. The
Okay.
most old-fashioned, ancient file.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Cool.
that's the one.
Okay. Well, I don't want to be selfish here because this is stuff that me and Robbie never really talked about when we were on Johnny. And here, let's say hi to some people here real quick. People are Mikey. Hey, Mikey, always faithful. What's up, Mikey? How you doing? Lewis, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate it. Zach Thong in the chat. Hey, Zach, what's going on, man? Rodney Parker says, man, I miss the 80s. That's what I'm talking about. Man, buddy, let me tell you. No kidding. Everybody saying hi to each other. Very nice. Appreciate that. Rod 44. Hey, everyone. Cool. Kramer talk tonight. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of Kramer talk tonight. We're going to be talking. We're going to be talking some guitars. So, so back to the Kramer thing, Edward. There's so many cool stories to tell. One of the coolest stories, with regards to me and Robbie is I did a walk around on my on my sports body on my black Beretta that I picked up out here. And one night we were on the show together, and I pulled the neck out of the neck pocket, and Robbie's initials were on the back of it. So that was pretty cool. That was a cool evening to see that his initials were on there, and he had touched that Kramer during his time at Kramer. So that was really cool to see. So so going back to the Edward stuff, let's talk about the Kramers, the Pacers, the Pacer bodies. Um, I know that when you're building guitars now, you say that nothing's really ever right. You and I have our private conversations. Nothing's ever really right. Let's talk about some of the things that aren't right on the Pacer bodies that you see immediately on the new reissues, on the stuff that you see that people build. What are some of the inconsistencies that you see on today's stuff versus the stuff that you saw in 83, 84?
Well, of course, Edward used the first run Poplar bodies from 1982, the Pacer Special, and that had a 2¼ inch neck pocket too. And they didn't make that for that long, and he scooped up most of them. And I'm pretty fortunate to have actually found one that came out of that batch.
Yeah, let's see them.
And this, to take a good look at that shape. Can you see the whole thing? Yeah. Notice how small that top horn is. Notice how small the bottom horn is. Okay? Notice how it's not really fat on the bottom. It goes pretty straight. It doesn't bubble out underneath that volume switch. Okay? It's pretty straight there. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also routed for Rockinger.
Yeah, that deep route. Yeah.
Yeah, it's routed for Rockinger. These are the things that were different in the body. Now, of course, the output jack is not straight down. It is at an angle, indicated by the nice indicator, line that it's an homage to the piece of tape Edward put on his guitar.
Right.
That's at an angle too. So when I look at this, I see so much different stuff than basically all these aftermarket companies did. They didn't have the shape of the body correct, and they weren't making them out of Poplar. Now some people did. There's people that did make them out of Poplar, which is nice. But yeah, all these bodies that he used for these were made of Poplar, and the Ad Frankies too. Now, to put it in perspective, give me a minute here. This is a body that was made the month after that one you just looked at. This is Mike Olson's body.
That's cool.
Painted by Marty Bell. You can see I don't want to touch it. I've had it for a little while, and it is. I feel it's still curing. Now Marty Bell, cooks them pretty good, and you can touch it if you want, but I'm being real careful with it. So this had a slightly bigger horn, which I reshaped before sending the paint. I also reshaped the bottom horn to thin that out a little. But most importantly, that bottom piece, notice how it does not bulge here. This is one of the biggest problems, because all these reissues or jobbers have a piece, it gets fat under here. And I took that all out. Another thing is, you square the edges off just a hair so it's not super rounded off. Now this...
I can see you took some of the round off.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things that really bothered me. I did I did add wood to the cavity because the pickup is being bolted directly to the body. And it's so hard to not mark this up. Bear with me here. This also has the Rockin' Your Route from 1982. This was the month after when they were making bodies at the Kramer factory out of one piece of wood. This is a one-piece alder, 1982. I'm compensating with the wood not being poplar by putting in a Mojo Tone Vitamin T oil-filled in paper capacitor that's warmer than the regular orange drop.
Okay.
It's pretty much what I did with my 85 Beretta, the one with the neck that I pulled out the garbage, to get that tone, because it's important to me that it sounds right too.
What neck's going on that?
I was just gonna go there. When Mike bought this guitar, that body came with a 1982 ESP non-tilt lawsuit Strat head neck.
That's cool.
These are the necks that Edward played when Paul Unger chopped them and made the banana.
Okay.
Now, you can't see it when Marty Bell painted over it. Of course, you could just look at the shape and you can tell that it's damn beautiful.
Is there gloss on that fretboard?
Damn. Oh, there's a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a little bit. Of course, Marty Bell did a great job on the back here, and I have signed and dated it too.
Okay.
But
did you re-drill those holes for the neck, or
no?
Were they already matched up?
No. After gluing, they were re-drilled by Kyle, and he also cut the shelf. But here is a neck for somebody else that I'm not going to name, and you can actually see some of the surgery here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, there's the original. This was a beak neck from 1983.
Okay.
It's ESP, one piece, non-tilt. And you could see the surgery on this, where it was glued and everything. And this is a nice neck too. This is really close to what was done for Edward in 82. I tried to keep
Kyle
them as
did all
close.
that?
Yeah, Kyle did both necks for me. Of course, it takes a while. But,
yeah, Kyle is Kyle's Dive Bomb Guitars. So if you guys have any, I think he would probably still do some guitar work if you contacted him. But I don't think he's doing gun stuff now, from what I was told. But
right. He's agreed
but I
to
think he would still do guitar stuff. But man, that guy does good stuff. He did both of my. He did my 5150 and he did my Frankenstein. So those two guitars were done by Kyle at Dive Bomb Guitars. So
I talked a lot with Kyle, and he has a lot of questions. He's going to build himself a 5150. He's going to send it to me to make sure that it matches. He actually had an 82 Pacer Special Poplar body, but it was one of the ones they put veneers on. And this other one I have has a veneer on it. I should wheel over there and look at that one. But the guy took the veneer off and tried to fill it. Destroyed it. I was all excited because it was a 2 1/4 inch neck pocket.
Yeah.
But that one.
You guys have any questions for Robbie? Make sure you're hitting up the chat. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have with regards to the Kramer stuff. I can sit and listen to Robbie for hours, especially when he starts going off on his rants with regards to any of the Kramer stuff or anything like that. We were talking in the green room before we went on. We started talking about we actually talked about the neck angle video on the Wolfgang, and he said that he had not watched it because it was an EVH product. He just wanted to stick more to the Kramer stuff. But he said, "Oh my God, you had to change a neck angle on that." He said, "Well, Charvel, once the neck angle issues on those guitars, if you don't have a recessed uh, uh, trem cavity on that, you're going to run into shim problems." And you know what? Every Charvel I have, it's never right. It's never right. The only way you're going to be able to dial that action in the way you want it to be is if you have the routed out trem cavity, and then you'll
Oh,
be
I
able to
know.
accomplish whatever you want to do. So
And I really don't like that because it's a smaller block, which takes from the sound. You have inserts. It's not direct drilled. I of course I'm spoiled because I've been building these Kramers since the old days. But I did like the Charvels from Japan. The import ones with Fort Worth on the neck plate.
yeah.
Those were good guitars. The pickups were okay. The Floyds were crap, but you know. Thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah.
But well, yeah, you're right. And neck pocket is angle is so important.
Hmm.
And ESP was doing neck throughs and gluing the necks on and kind of taking a stab at neck angles, and they were sending them to us, and we couldn't get the action down. And
Hey, talk about those Kramer stage masters. The ones you guys had to route the trem cavities out because they wouldn't drop low enough.
oh, I know. Now some of them actually worked. I mean, there are stage masters out there that do have decent action, and we're talking
Yeah.
Kramer action, not my action, because I've taken their specifications and cut them in at least half, you know. But yeah, so we get this guitar in there, and we can't get the action down at all. We got the saddles on the grinder, sanding them, until the point where they start breaking apart,
Mm. Mm.
We couldn't get this action down at all because you can't adjust the neck. It's glued in,
Mhm.
So we tape this body off, right? I think it's the first time that one of those was actually recessed. I mean, we tape the crap out of this thing. We had this crappy hand router, right? And I'm like routing this thing, and trying not to, mess up the paint job. So we cut this thing out so the Floyd, and it wasn't really deep either. We only took out what we needed, maybe, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8. It wasn't a lot.
Those were
And
maple too, right? Maple with mahogany wings, right?
wow, I don't even know. I can't even remember that.
The ones that I've had are maple with mahogany wings. That's what the Paul Deans were, and that's what the Stage Masters were too.
All right.
From my end, yeah.
Well,
So that couldn't have been easy. That'd be hard on drill bits.
Well, I mean, the router didn't really seem to care too much, but it did. It got.
Yeah.
You had to take your time. It would start smoking and stuff like that. But so we get that done, and now the holes for the stud aren't deep enough.
Mm.
It wasn't enough to hold.
Right.
And that was the beginning of the horrible insert. We had to put the insert in because of the limited amount of space the hole had now to hold the stud.
Hmm.
And then, of course, the block didn't fit. So then we had to use a 37 millimeter block. Now it didn't sound as good. You know,
You guys were using 42s. Those were 42s you're using originally. You
Oh
guys had to
yeah,
drop it down to
yeah,
37. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. All the
Okay.
blocks I use are 42.
Okay.
But yeah, that
Lewis
was just
says.
crazy.
Lewis says, does anybody remember a company in the 80s called Hosono Guitar Works? I have not. Maybe you have, Robbie. I still have a custom neck I ordered through them, but never used it. Fender style with a brass nut maple neck. I have not heard of them, but if you've got a neck from the 80s that you've never used, you should probably use it, bro. Throw it on something.
Well, I'd say look at the if it's got the small silver dots along the top. Possibility it's a ESP. You could also look at the scoop on the neck too. That could tell you if it's an ESP also. Like, of course, this neck on this guitar is a 1979 ESP one-piece non-tilt banana neck that they were making in 1979. If you look at it, there's a scoop there. You see how it scoops?
Yep, I see it.
That's a trademark of ESP. In my opinion, this is a neck they should have used on Edwards' guitar. 2¼ inch neck heel with a 2¼ inch neck pocket. And I feel he never would have had the problems with the neck moving like he did when he went and took the 1984s out for the concerts.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to find this. The guy didn't know what it was. I picked it up for $300.
Yeah,
Now, it
that's
was a
a good
lot
price.
of work. It was a lot of work, but it's beautiful. No flute at all. It's
Yeah, you know, Ed had...
astounding.
I just kicked my humidifier over. Ed had 6 screws in those deck plates, and Friedman fixed it with those shift pins. Grover Jackson puts those shift pins in there. He puts 2 shift pins. If you watch whoever's watching, if you watch the Friedman video I did on my Friedman and on that OC or that OG guitar that Grover did, they have shift pins in there now to where you can stay with 4 screws, but there's pins in there holding the neck in place. So, Big P wants to know what's Robbie's most memorable project at Kramer.
Huh.
Thanks for the question, Big P.
Probably the Bum's Rush for Sammy's guitars.
Well, that's funny because we got a listing tonight for one of Sammy's guitars. So let's talk about that red one. So we were talking about it last night when we were setting up, and you said that was a Beretta body and a JK neck, right?
No, it's a JK neck on like a Focus body.
Oh, okay.
And see, Sammy put a JK neck on his Beretta bodies.
So the red one that he plays on the Live Without a Net, that was a Beretta body, or was that a JK altogether? That was just a JK guitar.
No, just a JK neck.
Okay, so that was a Beretta body on a JK neck.
Right, and we made 5 yellow ones, and 5 red ones, and 2 black ones. But they all went through assembly. They weren't like Billy Connolly custom. Like, you know, I think Edward wanted Sammy to think they were. But it was a big Bum's Rush. Everybody was putting them together. It was such a rush because we had to custom order all the Floyd hardware, the tuning keys from Schaller, all the anything that was metal on that guitar had to be red anodized by Schaller for Floyd. Okay. And that took some time.
Yeah.
But those guitars had those bridges on them, you
know. Zach Thong loves hearing Robbie talk about guitars. Man, me too, bro. I guess I can listen to Robbie all night long. Rod44DC said, how long did you work there, Robbie? How cool. I bet you had some great memories of that experience.
Yeah. I mean, it was only about 2.5 years. But, you know, I'd see Edward playing guitar in the assembly room pretty often. I mean, he'd come into the neck room and drag us in to watch him play, you know. And I'd stand 3 feet from him watching him play, you know.
So cool, man.
That was a great... Another great memory is watching him work on the guitars, especially after lunch. Because he'd be, buzzed, and he'd go in there and, he'd get that power drill. And usually when you assemble a guitar, you drill your hole all the way through the body in the neck pocket. So the screw freely goes through there.
Yep.
And into the neck. Well, they come out, pre-assembly, not drilled all the way through. Mm-hmm. And I found that on some Charvels, they do this too. They just drill it right through. They don't drill the hole first, so that wood screw's going through that wood, and then into the neck. It makes it like impossible to get the screw out later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was Ed's style, and he was just like grab the screw, grab the thing, and sometimes you'd hear crack, and the neck heel would be cracked or something, and we'd have to, disassemble that, or the drill would get off the screw and it would go, just ruin the finish. So that had to be like, disassembled and reworked when he left,
Lewis says black dot inlays, so those aren't silver. So it's probably, I don't know what it is, but Lewis, you need to do something with that neck, man. You shouldn't have a neck just sitting around. Throw it on something, bro.
Well, are they small? Are they small dots? Because this one has small black dots. Mm-hmm. It's really the size of the dot and the positioning of it. The silver ones came on the rosewood fretboards, mostly. Mm. So it still could be.
Timothy Lay says stealing those necks. Probably referring to the Kramer necks that you're showing off. Cool. It's awesome.
But I kind of wanted to say something that nobody seems to remember much is, before I worked there, when my anonymous friend worked there, Bill Isaacson was there doing the original work on some of these guitars. In 1982, they made two 5150s for Edward that nobody ever talks about. One had a chrome plaque, one had a black pack. Okay? This body is a 82 Pacer Special 3 months after the batch of Edwards. This had the veneer, which I repaired but did not remove, and was continued being repaired by Marty Bell when he painted it. So this one has a recessed Floyd cover in the back. That's why the cover's on there. And this was a project that was given to Paul Unkert because the head of Kramer said, let's see if we could use some of this leftover poplar. And I didn't really realize it till I had it totally stripped down that this was a Paul Unkert glue-up guitar. Because you could tell where the glue joints were and how it was done, that it was one of Paul's glue jobs. And I was really lucky to get this. The guy that sold it to me said, he didn't want to sell it because it was damaged. And again, this one had never been drilled through. It had never been assembled. It had this graphic on there of some girl, the old school Kramer billboard on the end, But I really went to 82 on this with the flat black first run Floyd and the smaller headstock, the smaller banana, which was used on those first two. With the first one, and one was chrome. And nobody ever knows what happened to these guitars. This neck on this is one of the first JK necks, one piece, ESP, banana. This is one of the first JKs when they didn't say JK on them, they just said Kramer. So this is the first 5150 I built because I had the parts. And I was just mad because, Fender was making these things and it wasn't right. They were using the right parts, And I had these parts. So I put this together, because a round string retainer, you're going to see a lot of those on my guitars. And this has the freshest strings, so if I end up having to play guitar for you guys, this is the one I'm going to play. Wolfgang
Hey,
did an interview.
This is what I wanted to talk about. Cool. He had mentioned last night. We were talking last night, and he had mentioned Wolfgang's 1984. Go ahead, Robbie.
Wolfgang showed a guitar on an interview with Howard Stern, which had the correct stripe pattern, and it had black hardware on it. Now it had the neck. It had one of Unkert's glue job necks on, but it might have been the same body and hardware because Edward changed necks on his guitars a lot, and Unkert made quite a few of those necks for him, so he had others at that time. So it's just speculation, but from what I saw, I thought that might have been one of the missing 82s.
Oh, that'd be cool, right?
It's missing because it was like disassembled.
Robbie, Timothy Lay says your most memorable experience. So, Route 44 DC asked you what was your what was one of your best memories? What's your most memorable? Was it with Ed, or was it with something else? Or
well, that's kind of tough. I'd say it's probably something that happened before I worked there. Because I was going and dropping off my friend, and I set up my 100-watt Marshall 71 Super Lead and a 68 PV 100-watt with 2 electric voice speakers in my backyard. And I played the Gibson double neck really loud. And Edward heard me playing at the factory.
Yeah.
And tried to track me down. Now, my friend from the factory told me about this. He said, yeah, he's like, Edward tried to find you. He's like, that's the tone. That's the tone. And he's driving all over trying to track down my. And it was like 10 miles away. I mean, it was, pretty far. Now, it's by the ocean, low sea level. Sound does carry. And when he told me about that, I think that's the thing I remember the most, was that he was like trying to find me.
I figured it would have been this one because one of the biggest things that I picked up from you when we were on Johnny together was the night you were talking about how Edward was not allowed, how we weren't allowed. I always wondered when I was a kid why there weren't maple Kramer necks. They were very few and far between. And then you had said that night, well, it's very simple. Ed didn't want everybody playing what he played. And when he found out at the factory that they were making the maple necks, what did Ed do?
Oh, he would freak out because, he loved the factory. If he had a concert anywhere in that half of the country, he would fly in. While the other guys went and partied or whatever, he would get on a jet and fly to the factory and be there first thing in the morning, and like do a raid. And if he saw, maple necks like that, he'd freak out about it because he had a contract, nothing to be played that he played be made at the factory. Now when I pulled that neck out of the garbage there, or actually didn't kind of get to the garbage, I put it in my van because Edward got that phone call. Because he was watching me break them, And those were Bill Edwards' experimental necks for the finger tight locking nut. That was a disaster. It didn't work. And, the necks were old at that point. But Edward had a guitar made with one of those necks that he played, which I discovered way, way later. And I think that's why he really wanted them destroyed. But you know, I put one in my van.
JP21 says we got to do some listings tonight. Of course we are. But I'm going to do that last because that's what you guys want to see. I want to interview Robbie and talk about guitars. And hey, I'm going to drag this out for me. I'm being selfish tonight. Rob 44 DC says, I wish I would have had the opportunity to meet Ed. Really cool, Robbie. Lewis said, Route 44, me too. And then he was talking about the next. That story was just classic when you told that on Johnny. That was hilarious. What's your favorite Kramer model, Robbie?
I guess it's not really a Kramer, your Pacer Special 5150 now, is it? They never sold that. You know, in second place would be my, 82 Grail body that they rejected. Both that body and the one from my 82 5150 were sent to Gibson and were not in the fire sale. They were never finished. They had never been made into guitars. And they were both stolen by some guy at the paint booth at Gibson. And I guess this other guy got them from him. And I got them both together. You know, but yeah, it's just that, pretty much one of a kind stuff or stuff that's like really hard to find. I really like that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Right there hangs the new Grail 51 or the new Grail Kramer. On a scale of 1 to 10, the day that I posted that video, you emailed me, you said, hey, good job. But I never really asked you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think about the reissue of the Grail?
I'll give it a 6.
6? I was thinking you were going to say 5.
I was thinking 5, but I thought, they did make the effort.
Okay.
But,
well, I get it.
I mean, this is that experimental body from 1982. Notice the sharp edges. Okay? This is from Sports. It's got the sharp edges. Look at the massive neck heel on it.
Yep.
Okay? One of the things that really stands out is the hand routed. You can see the hand routing on the curve.
Okay.
Where the pins were, it's squared off. Yeah, this body wasn't finished at all when I got it. And it wasn't rounded off enough.
Okay.
All right. It was too squared off, which I love. And then it's 2-piece maple, heavy as heck for sure.
Yeah, I think mine's 9. Mine was pretty heavy. My Sweetwater engineer said it's on its way. And I got it, and then I went back and looked on the Sweetwater site because I was checking string alignment because all those string alignments are off on all of them. And
right, this neck pocket is stuck like Chuck. This is so tight, there is no room. Now, of course, when I did this, I re-drilled the Floyd studs, so I laid it out. So the string alignment would be perfect from the Floyd positioning, which is the way they should have done it.
I'm gonna grab mine because this is ridiculous. So mine, the alignment doesn't look too bad anymore, but it was way off. It was really bad off. But here's a problem I had. If I continued to kick that, look at the 3rd fret.
Oh, right, the
if
dot.
I would have continued to kick that dot would have been way off. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll stop. Because if I would have kept kicking that, I could have kicked it to perfect. But all that's saying is this neck really wasn't put in the right spot.
Well,
because
they're mass
like
produced
that on all of them. Yeah, I mean, it's like that on all of them. This, but I was thinking this was kind of heavy, and it's not too bad. But it is 9 pounds. So, but It's a cool headstock. Very cool headstock.
Yeah, this neck I got for $800, 1982. It's still stamped ESP on the heel.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I got
That's
this
cool.
from what was that guy's name? He was on Johnny a lot. Got kicked off. Well, that doesn't
Mm.
narrow it down much. Uh, he was on Lost. He was an extra on Lost.
Oh, yeah. He told me about that guy. Yeah. I wasn't on there with him.
Uh, 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 Mancuda, John Mancuda.
Mancuda. Okay.
$900. I got this neck from One Piece, ESP, 1982 Grail stamped. Beautiful.
You know, he's all got the he's Mancuda I talked to that guy on Messenger one day because Bizarre Guitar here in Phoenix said that they had the CC7 guitar, the CC DeVille. It was uh like a bright blue, like a frost blue, and it said CC7 on it. And they said that they had given that guitar back to CC, but then Mancuda said that he has that guitar and he sent me pictures of it. So Mancuda has the CC7 guitar. So Tim Thomas, hey man, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Tim Thomas in the house saying what's up.
And look at how dark this fretboard is. This is rosewood.
Yeah. Yep. I see that. I doused mine in lemon oil for probably, I just let it dry. I didn't wipe it. So it is lubricated quite well, but nowhere near as dark as that is.
Oh, it's heavy. But, I just love stuff like this. Now, it has the 78 custom shop Seymour Duncan wound by Marcelo Juarez.
Mm-hmm.
But it fits so tight in the pickup cavity that I had to use a rubber hammer to get it in. And that tightness on a pickup takes all the high frequency feedback out of it.
You know what? You were telling me about that. I didn't do that on this. Maybe I should. I'm off tomorrow, so maybe I'll mess with that. It's starting to cool off out here, so I can get in the garage here hopefully soon. Yeah, Mancuda. Yeah, Mikey. Mikey, thanks for being here, man. Mikey's always very supportive. Appreciate it. Ronnie Parker says I got probably a Les Paul Epiphone thing weighs like a brick. Those Epiphones are getting better and better and better now to the point to where I don't know why you would spend the money unless you're just looking for an investment on the Gibson thing.
Well, if it's after
2014,
the Epiphone is a laminate. If that matters.
All right, you want to get to some listings? You want to start going over your listings?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. Robbie sent me some listings, so I'm gonna start getting into these. And the first one is, you guys ready for some listings? You guys ready for some listings? Let's see some posts saying they're ready for some listings. 34 in the chat, Robbie.
Oh, damn it! I damned it for you, Papa. Oh, thank you, Baby Beaver.
34 in the chat. Nate says, let's go. Let's go. The Big P says, let's go. Let's go. We're going. We're going.
Ah.
What we got here? You sent me this one, and I thought you bought it, but I don't think you bought it.
No, I did not.
This is a Focus, right? JK, you said?
Well, he's claiming. Isn't this the one that he was saying was?
This is a Guitar Center.
Oh, right. You got the one. You got the one picture. You got no ad. Well, for 500.
This one's at Hollywood, man. This one's at Hollywood. I should have grabbed this one when I was out there. $500, you can't lose on that.
It doesn't have a description though, huh?
No.
Well, it's a
It
Jake.
says I can pick it up in Phoenix in a couple days if I want to. It's a
Well, what is
JK
that? What
though,
does that
right?
title say? The title says Beretta, but it's not. It's not a Beretta. It's a Focus. Because if you look really closely, it has a jack plate. And I think they're trying to make it look like a JK neck, so they sanded the Focus emblem off of it.
Yeah, you
Gotta
can
look
see
pretty
it's got
bad.
the jack plate, which makes it a Focus, right?
Right. Although you get the
And
Floyd
that would have
Rose.
been, would that have been a, would that have been a metal dome knob, or would that have been a plastic volume knob?
Oh no, it would have been a dome, and it would have been from '85, the earliest.
Somebody sanded the finish off too on the
Right.
headstock,
I
right?
think they want to make it look like a JK or something, but that's a Focus neck. They would have said probably Focus by Kramer. But for $500,
My son said he'll go grab it for me tomorrow if I want it.
well, for
I
five
think
hundred
I'll,
dollars, it's probably worth it for the Floyd, and the neck's probably worth $250.
yeah. Well, the Floyd alone's worth a couple hundred, right? At least now. That's
Right.
a made in Germany, right? For sure.
Should be.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, the pickup's probably crap, but they didn't give you any pictures. But that's definitely a Focus. Oh. Oh boy. We stepped in it here. Here, start off reading the description.
I says bought this with the intention of refinishing and adding a new fatter neck, but a luthier offered to make me a neck through Voyager. The body is an '80s Voyager and looks like it was originally hum, and the middle pickup was added before the EVA stripe job. May have had a Rockinger at some point. Neck is aftermarket. Not sure who made it. Needs to have the frets stressed and set up. Plays okay, but the frets are a little sharp. Chrome Floyd special with an EVHD tuner and brass block. He's going to transplant German original Floyd, but they're saving it for his custom build. He said he suggests the Floyd post be dialed and re-drilled. Not a pro job, but because the posts are leaning a little bit.
Wow. Floyd special. Somehow they got rid of the neck on that. Oh, and the neck plate is like some weird thing too. I thought he said something about that with the neck plate was it's not even the original plate. It's like some who knows plate. Yeah, he wrote more about that. He put the brass block on the Floyd
Yeah.
special. I mean, and what does he want for this?
$5.99, sir.
I don't see that much in parts for that. I mean, that's just like
$5.99. Going once.
no,
Nobody's
no.
interested in that one.
You couldn't pay me to take that. No, I mean, and it's like refinished. They don't even have the neck plate. The Floyd special. I mean, yeah. And
Wow,
look,
look
he
at that.
doesn't even he
That's
doesn't
a
even have the beak right.
yeah.
Huh?
That neck
Oh,
looks really slim. That's probably it's surely an R2 now. Look how thin that goes. That headstock's too big. It's too
well,
fat at the bottom for
I
sure.
don't know, man.
It doesn't even look right.
If you're gonna have a neck made, you're gonna have them make a beak neck. Really?
I don't know if that even looks right. Looks too fat from here, from side to side. Looks too fat.
Well, yeah, the guy is being honest, JP. I will back
Yeah.
you up on that. But yeah, that's
JP21 says pass. Mikey says pass.
it's definitely pawn territory for me.
Yeah. Firewood.
Pretty much. I thought that was funny though. All right, this is a good neck.
Vintage 80s Kramer, Japan, JK1000, guitar neck, maple. Let's see here what he says. It says here. Up for sales are 80s JK1000, some cosmetic wear, 2 and 16th inch. Nut is 1 and 1.67, scale 25 and a half, 12-inch radius, factory gloss, thin profile. I've always had good luck with Stagatsu. Everything I bought from that guy, it's good.
Yeah, he's great, man, and that's a great neck right there. You know, that's why I put it in there. One piece, ESP, non-tilt. That would be good if you wanted to make a 1982 5150. Although mine is a little bit wider because mine's a hair wider than that because that one came after this one. This was one of the really old ones.
You think that logo's original?
Yeah, that's original. See this one, when I got this one, it just said Kramer. It did not say that. And you could see it's a little bit fatter.
Time for a crown.
Yeah. Not so bad.
Depends on if you're doing the Edward Van Halen special. If you're doing the Edward Van Halen
You
special,
see how flat
those
are on the edges? Yeah, that's where you're gonna run into that damaging when you crown them thing.
Yep.
Like he went too far, you know? That would be hard. That'd be hard to fix. But yeah, that's after this one. You can see mine is a little bit wider, the banana. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Pardon my use of the computer. I just learned how to do this on Thursday, so I figured this out.
But no flute, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing there.
You know, that's what you want.
Nothing there.
Not a bad neck at all. And he'd probably...
For $500, no, not at all.
He'd probably deal with you too. I mean, Stig's a great guy. And you can mention me if you want to buy that, and he'll probably give you something off on it.
Kramer and Pacer Imperial. This is a newer one, I think.
Yeah, those are 86, 87.
It says 88, 89 Imperial is not planning on parting with, but due to financial reasons, I have to let it go. It's 30 years plus of use. I've tried to detail blemishes. Has a professional headstock repair. Let's check that out.
Professional headstock repair?
Yeah, that's what it says.
That does not sound good. Oh, it's got the binding.
Oh, there we go. There she is, right there.
Wow.
Goes all the way across. Too.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if that looks professional or not. It looks like they just glued it back together. I don't know.
Yeah, it does look like they just glued it back together. And what do they want for that?
I just goofed this up. Hold on. What do they want for this? $830.
Oh, that's fair, except it's got a cracked headstock. And look at the wear. What happened to that?
Look, that was shredded.
That just looks like regular wear.
I'll be honest with you, man. I can't do those three. I can't do that. I can't do that volume tone thing.
Oh, I
Even on
know. It's
the,
confusing. It's
yeah, I
confusing,
don't
and
like that.
you think something's wrong if you got the selector switch in a certain spot and one of the knobs doesn't work. But it's wired that way.
What's going on here? What does this thing keep doing this for? I'm clicking on the wrong stuff, I think.
Oh, we got a visitor.
Oh, Zora's here. Hey, Zora, what's up? Some not bad. What's everybody saying here? John Stewart says firewood. Yep. Hey, some people like firewood guitars. There's no problem with that. You got to find a happy medium between firewood and something that's halfway decent. Wonder what that was on. Yeah, what guitar that Kramer neck was on. Yeah, me too. That's a good question. Yeah, headstock's cool. Mikey says pyramid logo, definitely late 80s. I agree. Let's catch up in the chat here. Got the tool pack on it. Look at that wear, Robbie. My goodness.
That's a lot.
That guy played that guitar, that's for sure.
I had one of those from '86 that was like totally brand new.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it. Same color, right?
Yeah, and I never could.
Mm-hmm.
I never could gel with it. I just couldn't. I just couldn't really. It just didn't do what I wanted.
Dippy 21's glad that Zora's there, Robbie.
Hey, you got to show her, Mike. Let her say hi.
Let me figure this out. This isn't going to be easy for me, Robbie.
You're halfway there.
Well, hold on a second.
Yay! There's Zora. Aww. She's missed this live stream stuff. She likes it a lot.
She likes doing the live stream?
Yeah, she's been all excited all day. Are you having fun, Zora? Yeah.
Everybody's saying hello to Zora.
Good girl, Zora. Good girl.
Zach Song says, guitars built before my time.
Oh, there
Yeah,
she goes.
here to make all the old guys feel old.
Oh yeah,
Here
I
to
mean in
make
the
all old
YouTube
guys
world,
feel
I'm
old.
I'm pretty ancient in the YouTube world,
All right, let's see what else we got. How much was this one? I said $830, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean for $800, get it, and
It's got the case.
it's surely worth $800 in parts.
If it has the case. The older
Yep.
Floyds aren't quite as good, but you could still get money for them.
That looks like original case too.
That would have Seymour Duncan's. Well, hell, the case is probably worth $300 if it's in decent shape.
Yep.
Of course, then you're not going to get much for the neck with that repair job, but it is bound.
Paul Dean. I used to have one of these, man. I got rid of it. I regret getting rid of it. It's a bad move.
These came out after I was gone. I didn't have anything to do with these at all.
Those were the Loverboy, Paul Dean, guitar player from Loverboy. That was his signature model, right?
I think so. I mean, I saw all those people at the factory. I saw all the hair bands go through there because everybody was endorsed by Kramer. They gave away guitars to everyone. So they'd parade through the factory.
TP21 says funky horns on that one. Yeah, this always reminded me of like a Fred Flintstone guitar. It kind of looked like odd horns on it. The one thing I did like about it were these 3 switches, because you could pull the Randy Rhoads stuff off good. My buddy had one of these that was pink, and I bought it from him and I sold it. I wish I wouldn't have sold it. These are cool guitars. Expensive now too. Did you see the one that Eddie's Guitar Tech Eddie's Guitar Tech is selling
Oh, he still
on
hasn't
Reverb for
sold
like
that?
40 grand? Yeah, for like 40 grand. Yeah, but it is signed by Ed. It's kind of cool. Original case. I think he's got the original Guitar Center receipt too. That's cool. Wiring's original. That's surely original. Yep. So everybody's saying Paul can still tear it up. Yeah, man. Yeah, aren't they opening? Isn't Loverboy opening for Sammy? I think he is. I think they
Yeah,
are. It's
I
all the
think they
original
do.
guys. Yeah, it's all the original dudes. Big P says 42 watching. Yeah, hey man. I'm glad people showed up, Robbie. I mean, that makes me feel good, bro. I'm glad you're here.
Hey, no
Uh,
problem,
so
man.
so what do the switches do? JP21 says. So great question. Those are just on off. On off. So neck, middle, bridge. On off. So if you go to the bridge and you're playing something, you can do the Randy Rhoads a three-way toggle, with the volume down thing. You don't have to turn the volume down. It's just either it's on or it's off. Those are those old on switches, which are kick ass in my opinion. I wish they use those more often. I thought those were cool switches on those guitars. Brooks says loves the bright yellow. Me too, man. How much does the receipt say? That's a good question. Rod 44 DC says I can't. I just can't zoom in. I want to say it says $700. Probably back in what 86. Yep, three-way switches for the pickups, or just on-off switches for the pickups. 84 to 86, Kramer made ESP JK 1000 in good shape. They are asking 700 Canadian. That's good, right, Robbie? JK
Yeah.
1000,
Those
700 Canadian.
JKs are pretty solid. They didn't really glue them together like they started in those years at Focus. Well, you could get a Focus from 86 or 87 that's got like 8 pieces glued together or something. You'll never get that to sound good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next. (1982) Kramer Pacer Imperial USA clean and original trans red vintage B plate.
It does have a B plate.
How much?
I don't know.
2,200.
That's not the right case. What's with the bridge?
What does he say? Where's the description at on this one? Very good. About the seller. I don't see any listing. No, he doesn't even talk about it. So
I guess we'll just have to look at the pictures.
I guess we'll just have to look at the pictures, Robbie.
I might need
Wrong case, like you said.
extra gear for this one.
There's a
What's
six
that?
screw.
A flicker tremolo.
Yeah.
I hope. Knobs are correct.
That's a three-way. That's correct, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if
Schaller.
that switch is correct, but the three-way is correct.
Schaller. Yeah, it has to be between pickups. One, both, the other. Yeah, that's probably shallow. It looks like shallower pickups. I think that's a flicker trim. I might be wrong. Oh, there's that horrible little capacitor they used to use. Of
Yeah.
course, it's treble bleed too.
Yeah, I pull those treble bleeds out, man. As soon as I buy those old Kramers, I pull them out. That's funny. That's funny.
Okay. That looks like an ESP neck, which it would be. Oh,
You
pretty
can see the
clean.
shim. You see the shim material?
I wonder where it went. They don't want to show the
Yep.
shim like it's not
See
there.
that? There's no shim there, but there's shim material. You can see where it's embedded into the clear. Shallow pickup.
Yeah, it's a
I'd nice
shower.
to. I'd like to have that.
Looks like it's wax potted too, which is very interesting. Both of them are wax potted. I wonder if they did that on their own.
Clean out the buffing compound, people. Clean, clean out the buffing compound. Brass
Oh,
block.
yikes. Yikes. Interesting route on a JK body. Kind of raises
Yeah.
a little question to me.
Yep.
Maybe they did that on their own.
Logo's original.
Oh, that's right. It's a pacer.
Hmm.
I don't know why I was thinking it was a JK. Well, it's a beak neck with go to tuners. That's correct.
String alignment looks good. Dark rosewood, Robbie.
Yeah. Well, the B plate. I mean, if you cut it up, that plate's probably worth 150 now. Some people are getting even more for them. A bridge, probably maybe 75 bucks.
Like the route. It's a pacer.
Right. Two piece. We don't get a type of wood here. I would probably guess that might be maple though.
That's what I was thinking.
It's got a pretty nice looking horn on it though. Yeah, the horn shape is correct.
Small check. Not bad. JP21 says click more. It says show more. Oh, there it is. Oh, he's got a big old description here. It's a very clean and original 82 Pacer Imperial. 42-year-old vintage guitar. Hard shell. The included hard case is newer. A perfect fit. Everything operates as it should. Make sure you view all the pics. No breaks, no damage. All electronics are original. Everything operates perfectly. There's no buckle rash. Average fret wear, just coloration on the gold hardware. If you're looking for a super cool, great early playing production, USA Kramer. This will be an original addition to the great addition to the herd. Yeah, it's not bad, right? If you're looking for a
No.
6 screw.
Well, the price is a little bit. I mean, I like the shape of the body, but it's more than likely maple. You know. It would have, and it doesn't have the case with it too. I don't know. Parts wise,
Be honest with you, I'd rather have that case. To be honest with you, those Kramer cases, they fit so loose now after sitting in them for all that time. As far as protecting the guitar, that case will protect that guitar better than the original case will, because they flop around in the old Kramer cases. Depending on which one you get,
right?
some of them are thinner than the other, but those big thick ones that I have with my Beretta, with my sports body Beretta, it's the case is like it's huge, and if it just flops around there, I put a bunch of foam in there to secure it. You know.
Yeah, some of them are like that. But
Weird.
I mean, for a dollar worth standpoint, though, the original cases makes it worth more. Is that a good price? If you really like the guitar, I would go with that. You know, as a historical preservation, probably pretty good. You know, but I don't know. I'd be hard pressed. I probably wouldn't want it, but I don't know. Maybe 12. What do you think?
Yeah, I think tops. Well, no, it's a six screw. I'm not interested. I wouldn't be interested in that guitar. I mean, yeah, you're probably right. 1200.
You know,
I
as a preservation thing, historical value, and I've always made it a point of it has to play, whether I'm building stuff out of nobody else has it, and $1,000 for the neck, and I'm hitting it with a hand drill because it's gonna have to do what I want it to do, you know.
hmm.
Thanks, J&M, man. Jam. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you won't see any promotion either. We're not gonna like, you know, say anything like, "Oh, me," you know. Watch this, I'm here.
James, thanks for being here, man. We super appreciate it, and we just like talking about guitar stuff. It's fun. Mikey says $1,000. Mikey might be right, man. I mean, like, I'm not a player on this guitar because of the six screw. You know what I'm saying? So
I just look at it like parts. You know, we don't get to see the route, right? Or we
yeah.
did. It's got like a half a sports route.
Oh, the
Yeah, it looked like it has kind of a half a sports route, but not quite all of it, if I remember.
what was it?
There it is. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to have a sports route. Maybe it's one of the early ones. If it's a sports body, which it very could be, it's definitely maple.
I'm thinking it is because of your distance there. I saw that and I was like, that's a lot of distance. It's probably one of those sports bodies for the Rockinger, right?
Probably way early though, because that sports route looks a little weird to me. But in those years, that would probably be a sports body. So, you know, but when you look at sports bodies, you think you go to Grail. Can't really go there with this. A preservation thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, you'd have to like it because this ain't. You can't like use parts on this.
Yeah.
If it was a maple fretboard, then maybe. Then you could chop it, make it into a banana. You know, and have it shelved and drilled.
This is the one of the more interesting ones that you sent.
Yeah, I like this. With all its problems, I like this guitar because this has the original
2500.
2500. Oh,
But
yeah.
you got to look at the neck. You got to look at the neck on this one.
In the early Focus days, they used Grail necks. This is one of those. Although it's not the highest level of quality of Grail neck at the time, you will see that the grain in this neck is going to be further apart because it's, you know, a little less money. Now I know
How
that
cool is that to see? How cool is that to see a Focus 1000 on a Grail neck? I mean, you just don't see that.
well,
You
the
don't see
very
that
early
very often.
the very early ones came with that.
Yeah.
So if you get one of those, That neck, even with its, you could see it's damaged from the string tree. The guy even put the drill bit through the neck
Yeah.
and like tried to fix it. But that's a
Nice.
legit Grail headstock, and the neck's probably worth $1,000 to
Ugh.
redo. To redo. And it comes down to what else do you have? You know,
That's a nice looking neck, man.
you got a legitimate Floyd on it, although it has a detuner, so that is a little questionable. Your pickup's garbage. There's the hole.
Ouch.
When he was drilling for the string retainer, he went all the way through.
Yeah, that's something you should always
Tape
measure
off
your
your drill.
distance, your depth, tape off your drill bit, tape
Yeah.
off your drill bit for your depth, and then you know when to stop. Obviously, he didn't know when to stop. So
And they're thinner than you think, because of the shape and the angle, and that really sucks. Because if you're going to do a Grail and refinish that neck, then you want to see that one piece neck. You want to see that whole one piece neck, and you couldn't do that because of that repair. You could use it on a 5150 though, if you painted the back of the headstock and did the stinger, then you wouldn't see it.
yeah,
Providing the painter knows what he's doing. But yeah, so that puts a little wrench in the monkey there. It's still a beautiful shape.
these are newer tuners too.
Right, and you could run into problems with where the screws are for those, because I'm sure, it should have been I believe it should have been a 45 Goda.
You know what? JP21's got a good. You see, I was looking at this. I was doing that, and he said, "Oh, is that a crack?" He's looking at the same thing I'm looking at, but I don't think it is. I think it's just the. If I go to this one, I don't see a crack there. I think it's just a. I think it's an Allen wrench there too, isn't it? Yeah. No, I don't think that's a crack. I think that's maybe a reflection.
But do you see how wide that grain is?
Yeah.
So if somebody's trying to sell you a Grail neck, and it has that wide wood, you'll know that it came off of focus.
Yeah.
Because mine, doesn't have any grain at all.
Yeah.
There's no lines whatsoever.
Hmm. Needs a tool pack.
So, I mean, overpriced probably. Great neck. I like that neck. I mean, I probably would go after that neck if it was, cheap enough. And, of course, the rest of the guitar, you might be able to save the Floyd. I don't know what happened to the alignment on that, but...
Look at that route. Is that right?
I don't know. I can't really see it. Here, let me
It's upside down.
try to look it better.
Let's see if I can blow this up a little bit. No.
Oh, weird
right?
shape.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. That looks weird. That's another red flag going up there.
That's a good question. Does this guy confess to drilling through the back of the headstock? Authentic 83 Kramer Focus with a Holy Grail 83 banana neck. The Kramer is a collector's item. Authentic Neptune, New Jersey era guitar. This guitar is in excellent condition with only dings and scratches.
Wait. That guitar never saw New Jersey. Sorry. Those are made in Japan.
It says
Never.
CTS.
Never went to
CTS
Japan.
pot. See, There are also 2 drill holes in the body. The pickup's a Duncan JB. Goto tuners, 42 brass block, CTS pot, black hardware. Why why someone did this to the headstock, I don't know, but you don't notice it when you're playing, and that's really good.
You don't know.
So
That's the first thing I saw. Somebody drilled
yeah,
through.
I saw it. I saw it. I see it. Can't hide that. Mikey says a lot of bad things are adding up. You have to pass at 2,500.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's good money after bad because you're really buying the neck here, and you could go to Alien Nation and get one to spend 2,500 and get a legit Grail neck. Although it's an 85 and it's not stamped, it's still, a terrific neck. That's the only real good neck I've been able to find.
Ronnie says, anyone going to any live shows in the future? I'm not. I mean, like, everybody jump in the chat. The only thing that's really going on right now that I know, well, actually, Zims is playing tonight. If you guys are in the Phoenix area, Zims is opening up for Mike Tramp tonight at, there's a bar down. I saw Lynch there not too long ago, but Zims is playing tonight. Zims is opening for Mike Tramp of White Lion, so.
Well, my friend Scott's going to Arkansas tomorrow to see Sammy.
Oh, okay. I've heard that's a good show. I just, I mean, the heat out here. I'm not going to go stand in the heat to watch Hagar. I'm just not going to do it. Let's see here. Let's go on to the next one, Robbie. Kramer Beretta 80s Cream 2250. That's like my 86.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, I got 2 of them. Is this a transition? Let's see what neck is this?
The ear's right.
No, it's a
It's a 3-piece.
3-piece, yeah. Yep. E serial number. I've always liked this color though. I pulled the neck on mine, and the color's white inside the neck pocket, which is pretty cool. These aged really really good. The color aged really good.
Alpine white.
Tool pack looks legit to me.
It does.
These aren't your favorite though. These aren't your favorite ones.
Well, the body's cool. Does that have the recessed Floyd cavity route?
Yes.
All right. Well, that's rarer.
Yeah. How many did you say that they did of those? Or there weren't that many, right?
No, there weren't. They only did it for about maybe a month and a half. So figure maybe 300 at the most. Yeah, see, that's what my Beretta body has.
Still got that distance there, man. That's still got that distance there. It's crazy. Yeah, that color aged well.
That's most definitely alder.
Oh, ding there.
Kind of a scratch there.
Chip.
That won't buff out.
Oh, they put an RTM in it. That pickup alone's a couple $100. 175. That's a custom shop. That's MJ.
That's of course I can't see anything because I'm old. Alnico 2.
That's an Alnico 2 Warren DeMartini. Radis Tonus Maximus. Trembucker 18K.
That's a lot of resistance too, man.
Yeah, that's a high output JB, but it's an Alnico 2 instead of a 5, so.
Wow.
Yeah. Bone yellowing. Yeah. I like that. 18.3, yeah. That's a good pickup. That's probably one of my favorite pickups. I love these wrenches.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
I love them. I got two of them out there for when I got to tighten up the old whammies on the old Floyd Roses. I got two of them out there. Nice case. I'd take that case.
It's decent. I think it could be saved.
Yeah. It's good looking.
It's not too
Got
bad.
some character. It's got some character.
That's like 250, 300 now.
Original tuners, 2250. That's steep. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really like the three-piece pointy, although it's a good neck. I personally probably wouldn't buy it because the body's decent, but it's a little beat up. You can't really car buff that out. Yeah, definitely Alder. Because they were all Alder, those guitars, from 85, 86. They didn't make any Poplar or Berettas. They all came from ESP, made out of Alder then. Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't go over 1,500 on it, I don't think. 17
Yeah,
tops.
I think 15, like 15 or lower would be my tops on that guitar.
I think it was super clean, maybe.
It's cool that it's got the recessed cavity.
I know, but you're kind of looking at a refinish, and that's going to plummet the value. Unless you're, refinishing something like that's made out of really super rare parts. It's not really.
Get that in there. No. 40-year-old guitar, two dings, worth noting. Guitar is set up to E standard with light gauge, 9 to 40. Seymour Duncan, MJ, Warren D. Martini, DiMarzio strap locks. Yeah.
DiMarzio strap locks?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's surely what those are.
those came
The
with
clip
shower.
locks?
They
Oh
came with
yeah, no,
showers.
somebody put those on.
I know.
Somebody put those on because they're clip
I don't
locks,
use
yeah.
I don't use the actual lock part, but I use the button. I've never used the strap lock part. Even when I was at the factory, I was like, chuck that thing.
Zach says Sammy's coming to town on Saturday. That's on a weekend. There's a lot of stuff going on in Toronto, which means a lot of people are taking transit. I'm not going. Lewis says, were any of those made of ash, Robbie?
No. Kramer didn't make anything out of ash. Or when ESP was making bodies, they didn't have them made out of ash, I would say. At least not when I was there. When you get into like 88, 89 or something, it could get a little murky. Like 40 was saying about Stage Masters.
Yeah, right. I'll never forget that. That was hilarious that night you were talking about that. We couldn't get the action down, so we just started recessing the bridges. It's hilarious.
I know. Well, you did what you had to do, because
Yeah,
Kramer was not
do.
going to waste anything,
Here's another one, 8485. This is a different headstock, right?
That's a Lucido. That would have been a custom order. It's got a custom order plate on it, too. Although, once again, we're missing the correct case. But that's a Lucido headstock, so that would be an 85. If it's an 84, it's very late. Lucido makes a great neck.
That's a tilt, right?
Yeah, that's a tilted
Yeah.
Lucido.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like one piece with a little piece for the banana, a little piece for the tip on the top, where the glue
Yeah, that
points on
sports
those.
on mine has that luthier joint. That sports body has that luthier joint. This one
Right.
doesn't.
No, this is a different company. This is out of Canada, Lucido. They were a part of Leverie.
It's a maple body though, right? Or is it? What
No,
is it?
that would be an ash body.
Ash.
I'm sorry,
Ash?
alder. Ah,
Alder, yeah.
I am so sorry. I hate when I get to say stupid shit.
Alder.
But that's a custom plate. They had to have a custom order to get that matching headstock.
That's a cool guitar, man.
That one's probably worth a couple thousand. Of course, I wish it had the right case.
40. What? Oh, this guy's in the UK.
4,000. No, I wouldn't do that. But I'd keep that together. I wouldn't part that. I'd keep it together and try to find a real case for it. Oh, that's way too much money, man. I bet you that's going to be for sale for a long time.
Hmm.
Oh, Marty? Yeah, they all the bodies that came out of ESP were alder back then. I mean, I never saw a Poplar Beretta. I've managed to find a Poplar Condor, and I managed to find a Poplar Vanguard, but it took me like 6 years for each of those to find.
Hmm.
So they were very few and far between. So every once in a while they would get, but I've never seen a Beretta Poplar. They were all alder.
Hmm. Mikey says 4,500. Ouch.
Oh yeah,
That's a lot of money for that one.
Yeah, that's basically a no way.
Yeah, that's out of my price range for that guitar. I'm not paying that.
I'd say 2,000 if it had the real case. You know, from a worth. Okay, what do we have here?
Was this your rant?
No, my ramp was that horrible Voyager with the jobber neck and the Floyd special. Did that have a round string Taylor?
Hold on a second. Where'd that one go? Where'd that? Didn't even talk about it. Where did it go? I guess I don't have it on there. That's that Sammy Hagar one. That JK. Did we talk about that one? Maybe we did. I don't know. But there was that JK Sammy Hagar. That's the wrong color too. That one. So
here, I could send it to you, man.
I think I got it already. Go on and talk about this one, and I'll see if I can throw this on here.
Oh, you got the link for that?
Yeah.
All right, then I won't try to send it.
I got it. Yeah. Let's see.
How much would it have cost at 86? The custom order at 86 probably would have been about maybe 1,000, 1,100 if it was a custom order. And of course you would have gotten the right case with it.
This is the one that cracked me up because it's
how
we were talking about. It's the Beretta, and it's not even the right color. It's the this is the That's not even the right color of Sammy. Sammy's was like a solid red. It wasn't. It had um no sparkle. There was no sparkle in it whatsoever. It was just a flat red.
Well, it's true that Sammy put JK 1000 neck on his Beretta.
Yep. Uh huh.
He put it on a Beretta, not on a JK 1000 or a Focus. You know? Although his
So
price here is not all that bad.
no, it's not. Except for the big honkin' ding on there. That's a good one.
Oh,
That's a good one in a bad spot.
definitely honking. Now, of course, that JK pickup probably ain't worth a dang.
Everything looks right.
Was that action like you could drive a truck under or what?
Oh, look at that. Look at that overhang.
That's
That's a
actually a
lot.
good. But that's a good sign because that means that body was earlier. Like if you
There's
bought a
something
Pacer
else that's going on.
Special, if you bought a Pacer Special in '82 or '83, the neck would have hung over the pocket like that. But that pocket being thicker like that and the hangover, that means that that's an earlier body. That's actually desirable.
This too. You can see there's a gap there.
Well, oh, so
Probably
it's not in
slide
the right
something in there.
spot. You don't think it's in the right spot to begin with?
I don't know. It looks like it's not seated in the pocket. It looks like there's a gap there. I wish I could blow this up, but I can't. Um, it looks like there's a gap there. Fretboard looks good. Frets look good.
What's that?
Frets look great.
268.54.
In 85, he's saying.
Yeah,
Probably for this guitar, he's probably right.
oh, for the JK? Not the custom order white Beretta with the Lucido
No,
headstock. No, okay.
no, this one. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, the frets are in great shape. A little bit right there, maybe, but those frets are in great shape for that old of a guitar. I'm cool with that.
It's kind of funny though that they would like try to use Sammy Hagar to sell this. You know? Well, you could see from that picture that it's totally different color.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Sammy didn't have any. It was a flat. It was a flat. It wasn't. There was no gloss. There was no sparkle in it. It wasn't a candy apple red. It was a flat red. The hair. I'll tell you what, Sammy, that was during the Eagles Fly, man. That's when they were. That's when Eddie was playing bass on his album. That's when they. That was the highlight of. That's when I thought Hagar was pretty cool, man.
I gotta
He had it
admit, his
going on during that time frame.
in the concerts, his original stuff he does really well. I like it when he plays the leads.
Oh, dude, that was the great part of getting Hagar in the band because Eddie and Sam could trade licks, and you could tell that Eddie enjoyed it. He enjoyed that. Roddy Parker, 81 here, the latest interview of Dave trying to take full credit of the design of the Frankenstrat. All these decades later after Eddie he has passed, I just don't get Dave at times. Yeah, hey, I don't know. I I don't know what's up with that cat. That cat's all over the place. I sold a truck to a guy the other day, and he said he was a Van Halen, or his email address was something 5150, I told my sales guy to go out and ask him if he was a Van Halen fan. He said he was. I went out there. I said, okay, man, Sammy or Dave? And he said, Sammy. And I said, you're probably in your early 50s, right? He goes, yep. And I was like, yeah, me too. I said, if you're older than me, people always say Dave. But if you're like the 52, 53-year-old guys, they usually say Sammy, because that was more of our time. So, but I think that's a cool guitar. I mean, for $745, right, Robbie?
Oh, it's not too bad. The ding kind of takes away from it, but
I probably wouldn't buy it, but
I don't know. I'd say maybe 500 if you really liked it.
yeah.
I really wouldn't look at it as an investment.
Let's go back to this other one. So the '80s Candy Apple Red, $2,000.
All right, so we're looking at a deluxe pickguard guitar. Floyd looks legit. This guy put a humbucker in the bridge. They like put a
I
Gibson
don't know if
pickup
that
in there.
pickguard looks legit. It looks like the Floyd's on top of the pickguard. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I know the deluxes came with the pickguard.
It
It
almost
doesn't
looks
look
like
like
a
it fits
six-screw.
on there right.
Yeah, that looks like a 6-screw pickguard. It looks like a regular trem pickguard with a Floyd Rose on, is what it looks like to me.
I wonder if they had to use a different pickguard for the Gibson humbucker pickup.
Oh, maybe that's what they did. So the bridge is like sitting on the pickguard on the sides.
Could be.
Hmm.
Doesn't look like a bad beak neck though.
No. Only 4 pictures on this one. B serial number.
All right, so that's $120 to $50 neck plate. Although the screws look weird.
Yeah.
The screws look weird. This I'm getting a somebody screwed with this guitar vibe here.
The Floyd and the neck are what's most appealing.
Is that a round
Oh,
string
the
retainer?
string treat. Yep, sure is. Round string treat. Pacer Series logo's right. Lewis says, I like Sammy Hagar's Winner Takes It All song from Stallone's Over the Top. I think he was playing a similar red guitar. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Oh, Mr. Grit, we are hanging in here tonight. All these people. Thank you,
What's going
everyone.
on? Yeah. It's this patent pending. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Ryan, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Ryan's got a cool channel. If you guys don't know about OU812, check out his channel. Lots of playing on there, lots of guitar playing, lots of really good gear. Ryan's probably got the best wet, dry, wet tone on the internet. So if you're interested in watching people shred on guitar, go check out Ryan's channel. A really good channel. It's got some talented people on there. John DeShane's got some nice gear. He just picked up a Sir SL68, second generation. So yeah, check out Ryan's channel. He's got a nice channel.
Yeah, I mean, what does he want? Because I do kind of like the neck.
$2,000.
So now we're back to it, The case.
Well, it's
the
Way
Floyd's
Cool
legit.
Junior's gear. Way Cool Junior's gear. He's got. Yeah. Way Cool Junior. Just a guy with a few guitars. He's just got a few. Laredo, Texas. Coming from Texas, charging $160 for shipping, and he wants $2,000 for the guitar. I wish he had more pictures. I'd like to take a look at this pickguard because this pickguard's suspect for me.
I'm kind of getting a bad vibe on the whole thing, but I do like the neck. But that neck is not worth the $2,000, even if you
Yeah.
sell the Floyd for three. You got like
Yeah.
a Gibson pickup. He had a description.
Let's check it out. The parts are well worth the asking price. He says the original pickup is a Schaller. The bridge pickup in the picture is a Gibson PAF and isn't in the guitar's pickguard. The case I bought with the guitar is a Kramer case, but it's for a bass guitar and not a regular guitar, six string. I can include the Kramer bass case I bought with the guitar, or I can ship the guitar with a Roadrunner black tweed case. I'll leave that up to the buyer. Guitars from the early 80s, probably 83, 84. Feel free to make me an offer. Oh, he's taking offers and guitars as is. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not seeing the parts well worth it thing here.
I'll pass.
I just messengered you a link to this lady's Sound Bath Gong channel.
Yeah,
Could you put that up
yeah.
if you can? She's pretty cool. I've been kind of shouting her out.
Okay. See, how
If
would I
any
do
guys,
this?
if any guys want like soothing gonging, not not wild animal gonging like me, but
Yeah, check
more.
out. I don't. Yeah, I'll put this in the description afterwards. Sound Bath Center on YouTube. This is somebody that Robbie's recommending. Hey, Bub, if you can do that, if you can just throw it in the chat or throw it in the chat, just look up Sound Bath Center on YouTube and throw it in the chat for her. Um,
I don't know.
yeah,
Even if
I'm
fifteen
out on
hundred,
this one.
I'm yeah. Even if 1500, I'm like no. Of course, those pickguard guitars are all routed. And those are the ones that had problems with the wood studs because the studs too close to the route for the pickup.
Well, here's what I'm thinking on this one. I'm thinking that the pickguard's not original. I'm thinking that the guy put the pickguard on it. The screws probably didn't match up, and the Floyd's resting on the pickguard. That's what I think. I think the body's original. I just think the pickguard's not right. That's my opinion.
Thanks so much, Nate.
Oh, there it is. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. This lady's pretty cool. She doesn't have a whole lot on her channel, but I've gotten some people to sub to her, and it's gong power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see here. Hey, Robbie. I know that some people wanted to see you bang the gong. You gonna do that?
Oh, sure, no problem.
All right. Let's get the gong going. Let me get out of this.
It'll take
Stop
me a little
sharing the
while to get
screen.
there because I'm pretty
That's all
lame.
right. Let's go through quotes here. Ryan said thanks. Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for being here. Neck is sure the prize on this one. I can't get over the pickguard. Yeah, I think the pickguard's not right. Um, that is the recommendation from the Sound Bass Center that Robbie was talking about.
Yeah, that lady, she's really cool. This is the 40-inch gong that I have in this room. The 50-inch
Robbie's.
gong is in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. You got it in the other room. Yeah, yeah. Robbie's got to get into position here to go over and bang the gong. Uh, you guys want to contact me directly? Uh, that's my email address. You can contact me directly. Any questions on anything, I'd be more than happy to help. And please, like and subscribe, or please subscribe to the channel. Check it out. I'm gonna do my best to get out into the garage this week. See if I can get something going with a. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you guys. So I've got a bunch of shorts that I shot. I opened up the vault here, and I'm going to have every guitar on the. I'm going to have every guitar on the website now. So when you go to see uh, my shorts, they're going to be every guitar will be posted now. So while Robbie gets into position here, I'll go through the rest of the comments. You're correct. It is gong time. We're going for the gong. We're going for the gong. 40-inch for 40 grit. There you go. There you go, buddy. Picard's from an old Ibanez Roadstar. Hey, maybe it was. I think Robbie's in position. Let me unmute him, and I'm going to put him back in here.
All right.
Robbie, you are in position. Let's hear it. Has completed. Robbie has completed the gong. Says neighbors must love you. Let's go over these here real quick. The gong show is in effect. Ronnie Parker, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Brooke says, whoa, Nelly. Route 44, that's super cool. Why do I feel a Queen song coming on for some reason? You never know, buddy. Robbie's at an M6. I don't know what that means. JP21 knows something that I don't. What is that?
That is a mallet, and that was an M7 mallet.
Oh, look, I didn't know that they're labeled like that. That's cool. Your neighbors must love you, Marty McFly says. Felt my house shake. Who's is he? 7.9 on the Rochter scale. That's cool. Love the overtones of the gong. Heavy metal for sure. Gong but not forgotten. That's a good one. Going is wild. Gong is wild, I would assume that's what it says.
Yeah, I mean, I could ring the 50 for you. I'd go into the kitchen and you'd be able to hear it.
Let's save the 50 for the next show.
Okay.
Because that'll give everybody something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? You can set up out there.
Yeah,
you know
it's not as hot, so it won't be so bad. I'll just set up out there in front of that, and of course that's going to take.
Yeah, you said it was warm there right now, right?
Yeah, we had 100 today. I know it's not warm for you, but
what are you talking? Oh yeah, for me, yeah, it was 106 here today, I think. It started to cool off though, so hopefully I can get out in the garage. I was just telling everybody when you're making your switch that hopefully I can make it out to the garage here pretty soon and start doing some more in-depth descriptive, because I can tell you that's surely restricted what I have the ability to do when I'm out there working on guitars and stuff. So does anybody have any more questions for Robbie? We're coming up on 2 hours, so I'm probably getting ready to wrap this one up. We got 36 people in the chat. Super appreciate everybody coming tonight. Where are you, Robbie? Robbie, you want to say where you're at? What state you're in?
Oklahoma.
Robbie's in Oklahoma.
Can I jam some guitar for you?
If yeah, I mean yeah, sure. I mean, I got a few more minutes. Go ahead and plug it in if you want to.
All
Go
right,
on and plug in if you want.
give me the thumbs up when
Okay.
I'm in
Yeah, I'll let you
position.
know. All right, I'm gonna back out. I'll just go to me. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to get out in the garage and do some more setup stuff in the garage. So, Mikey, thanks. I'm gonna play Robbie out. What I'll do is I will once he's playing, I will play the show out. We'll play the show out with Robbie playing. Appreciate everybody coming. Super appreciate everybody being here. Um, Thanks for having us on 40 Grid. Thanks, Ronnie. Hey, man. I am very appreciative of Robbie coming by tonight, and I'm glad that he got to bang his gong, and I'm glad that he's going to play us out here with some. He's probably going to play that Kramer that he was talking about. So I will play the show out with him. And if nobody else has any questions, I'm going to wait for him to get into position. And then I'm just going to play him out with, I'll play it out with Robbie. Rod 40's 40 DC says, enjoyed the show. JP21, thanks. Hey, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Good to see everyone. Brooks, happy to see the show happen. Love the listings. It's yeah, that's like that was always one of my favorite things about the Johnny Bean show when me and Robbie were on there was doing the listings. And I know that Johnny still does them, and Johnny and Ron do a good job of that. But I just it was fun to have Robbie on here and do it. So Robbie, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, and I'm going to switch to you, and then. James says my daughter watched that and she said it was super cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the next one. I look forward to the next one as well. And let me get Robbie into position here. I am going to put him in. Let's go back to us. Robbie's in.